President, I would like to extend a warm welcome to everyone today and a happy Valentine's Day. Please welcome me in joining John Straub.
Can you hear me now? Okay, you've just been scammed, and we're going to talk about that in just a few minutes. I want to thank Brandenburg Communications for being here. They've been a BBB accredited business for over 12 years, so appreciate you being here. Now, what about the BBB? As a BBB accredited business, you help promote and celebrate ethical business practices and earn consumers' trust, as well as unmask scams and deceptive advertising. And that puts responsible companies at a disadvantage if these dishonest businesses are doing things that are unethical, because you're adhering to a higher level. By aligning with the BBB, a trusted brand, you demonstrate a commitment of best practices and responsible business standards. Together, we can build an ethical marketplace. BBB started in the concept as back in 1905. It actually started in Louisville, Kentucky. On 1st of May, the American Advertising Association met there in 1905 and then created the Truth in Advertising Code. That gave birth to the concept of the BBB. So in 1916, the BBB Louisville became the third in the nation to receive its charter. And that back then, they were looking at discouraging false advertising. Here's a couple that I pulled up. If y'all remember these, this is Dr. Beatty's For Your Health Asthma Cigarettes. Since 1882, for the temporary relief of asthma, it effectively treats asthma, hay fever, foul breath, all disorders of the throat, head colds, canker sores, and bronchial irritations. However, it's not recommended for children under 6. If you want some of that. Here's another one for the brand new mother. Now mother and baby can get a pickup with a case of Blatt's beer. This means your young mother, by drinking a case of Blatt's beer, helps the baby participate with the malt, and it applies to the nourishing qualities that are essential for the baby and mother. So, hey, new mothers, drink Blatt's beer. Now, this is false advertising, I would agree, wouldn't you? So that's What we're going to talk about today is small businesses, crimes against small businesses. Now, many folks think, I'm just too small. Those guys aren't going to go after me. Well, you actually are the perfect target as a small business. Right now, small business accounts for 99% of all businesses with employees, employ 50% of all private sector workers, and provide nearly 45% of the nation's payroll. Your business is your ship. And the United States Navy's #1 rule is to learn to fight fires when your ship is not burning. So what do? You take practical preliminary measurement to prevent damage. So you need to educate you and your employees. You minimize and localize damage as it occurs. So now you respond. You accomplish emergency repairs as quickly as possible and restore equipment to its operation. You recover. The ship is your business. It's the ability to perform its mission and survive will depend on the effectiveness of the damage control person, and that's you, the business owner. The Federal Emergency Management Agency reported that 43% of all small businesses don't reopen after a major disaster. 51% of the companies said that their customers would leave within 2 hours of an unplanned downtime. 60% of those don't open in a month will go out of business. Now, your BBB is your scam central. We get 84 scams a day. We get these referrals from the FBI, the FTC, local and state and federal agencies, and you. You are our eyes and ears on the street. Whenever you hear of a scam or con going on, you get an unusual phone call, let us know here at the BBB, because we may have already known about it, but if we haven't, it helps us to spread the word. The BBB has been doing this for over 100 years, and that service is absolutely free. So what are some of the crimes? And I'm sure you've heard of these. There's the most common right now is the office supply fraud. And I'm sure you may have gotten a call on that sometimes. So this is a chronic problem. Businesses lose over $300 million a year in this fraud. So how does this work? What's the trademarks of an office supply fraud? It's a bill or a statement. It's going to look real. It's going to look genuine. It's going to look legitimate. You know, it's going to be for supplies, toner, light bulbs, cleaning supplies, paper goods, tape, first aid kits, whatever. You're going to get that. You're going to get a bill like that, and it's going to look real. And if you're not careful, someone in your office, if not you, might just turn around and pay that bill instead of before you're out. So now, how does this scam work? The telemarketer will maybe call in advance, and he's going to call and say, you know, I'm calling as your authorized supplier, your copy company. He'll call and say, hey, it's time to reorder before the prices go up. Hey, I'm calling to complete an existing order. Or, hey, I'm asking for a confirmation on a previously sent order. And therefore, an unsuspecting person might just give that information out. So please be careful on those your folks that are answering your phone. And so that, you know, they may even say, oh, excuse me, who's the owner of the business? And they'll get the name of the owner and say, thank you. And the next thing you know, you've got a bill coming with your name. Well, you know, Mr. Smith ordered this, so I guess we got to pay for it. Okay, write it off. So what happens? So now you're key to this, so you kind of want to fight back. So what does the scam artist do? Well, initially he's going to bully you. He's going to call you and tell you that if you don't pay your bill, he's going to threaten you with litigation. Then he might just, okay, how about we just lower the price? Then he's going to appeal to sympathy, and then he's going to say, well, I'm going to charge you a restocking fee. And then he'll say, well, you know, let's make this business, I'm going to ask you to return the product at your expense. Well, guess what? If you've received a product or a service and it's unsolicited by you, Merry Christmas, it's yours. You have no obligation to return that product or service. You do not have to return that product. So congratulations, you've got it. So what else can you do? You don't want to return unopened merchandise. If you've got it, congratulations. Review your phone bills every month. Check, see who's calling you. Assign a person who is designated in your staff, if you have that, to do nothing but purchases and documents. Train your staff to deal with telemarketers. Remember what kind of information that you want them to give out. You don't want them to give everything out that you don't want them to know. Buy from the people you trust and know. Use purchase orders. Send a copy of every purchase order to your person that you have doing that, accounts payable. And call us. Also let us know. If you get a strange phone call from a business or an organization, let us know. We'll help you out with that. Okay. And make sure telemarketers, and when they call you, that you do a PO system. Now there's the invoice and the mail fraud. You know, you've seen them. How many people have gotten a bill or an invoice that has the little walking fingers on it? It says Yellow Pages. All right, everybody's going to get one of those eventually. You'll get one of those. You know, and it's actually going to look real. It's going to have the Yellow Page logo on it. It's going to say the Yellow Pages on it, and it may even suggest that it's coming from your local telephone provider, but it's not. So what you want to do, you want to make sure that you call your local telephone provider. You call the publisher and find out who is actually doing this. You know, and they may lead you to believe that you are already listed in the directory, and therefore now you got to pay because you're already in their book. So now you got to pay. No, you don't. Check with the BBB. You know, call your local Yellow Page publisher. Check with the consumer protection agencies. Contact your local postmaster and the postmaster general. Fundraising fraud. Okay, this is where they're gonna pull at our heartstrings. You know, they're raising money for the police. They're raising money for fire personnel, for the local school. You know, they're selling advertising that will appear in the local directory and calendars. They're raising money to help fight drug abuse in schools or communities. They're raising money for veterans. Man, I'd be careful. A lot of these people that are calling for the police and the fire department, oddly enough, maybe 10% will go to that actual organization, but 90% stays in their pocket. You know, so it's unfortunate. And they'll even have names that even sound real familiar. Oh, that sounds familiar. You know, American Cancer Society, they'll put this in so it sounds real familiar, but it's not. It's not going to be anywhere close. So what do? Ask for identification. Ask for how your contribution will be used. And they'll tell you, or sometimes they won't. Check it out with the BBB Charity Review. We have a book and I can get that to you. I didn't bring one today. It has all the charities that have that are listed with the BBB, and many that are accredited. Those are the folks that you want to give information you can donate to. Verify the legitimacy and report a telemarketer, and don't be intimidated. Don't let them pull at your heartstrings. Okay, can you hear me now? Okay, here we go. Here's the one you'll get in the mail. Everybody familiar with the 876 Mafia? 876 and 658 are area codes in Jamaica. So if you get that, if you see that area code, that's when you don't want to answer. Last year, about this time last year, a young lady from E-Town called me. She said, Mr. Straub, she says, I'm 86 years old and I just won $86,000 from the Publishers Clearinghouse. Is that true? I said, no, ma'am, I doubt that that's true. She said, well, they wanted me to go to the Walmart and give them a $200 gift card, and that would cover taxes, and I would get my $86,000. I said, no, ma'am, that's a scam. I knew it. Well, Mr. Straub, I wrote down his number. You want me to call him back and give me my peace of mind? I said, no, don't give him your peace of mind. It's like, well, I don't mind calling him. I'm going to give him a hard way to go. I said, no, don't do that. So we said, well, we appreciate that. And it's interesting because the largest group that are attacked next to small businesses is the senior citizen, unfortunately. And the next largest group that is attacked by cons and scam artists is the military. Some other phone calls that you might get. It's the FBI. No, they're not going to call you. It's the IRS. No, they're not going to call you either. It's the police. No, they're not going to call. It's your bank. I doubt it, but if you want to verify that, say, I'll call you back, and then call back your bank. And then got the call, you've won, congratulations. No, chances are you haven't won anything. And or there's the call, there's a warrant out for your arrest. No, there probably isn't, but you can call the police department, they'll let you know. And caller ID is dumb. You can look at your caller ID and they'll say 502-270-606-812. They'll have a local number, and you'll pick it up. And because you think it's a local number. No, it's not. These scammers can rig their phones so it sounds like it's here locally. Cybercrime. Everybody had a thing pull up on your paper. It maybe look like this. I mean, so what are these folks doing? What they're doing is they're trying to get into your system, not only to damage your computer system, but more importantly, they also want to get in through worm their way through to your vendors, which is a much bigger company. So you don't want them to get in it. So they're going to come in through a little back door, use a small business owner, and they'll eventually get into the big guys. So that's what they're doing. So if you see unsuspecting emails, do not open them. And do not open them at all. So these are soft targets, what is known as soft targets. More than 27% of the email messages classified as scam contain links to malicious URLs. Now, more than 11% of these recipients that click gone to these embedded links and effectively are now attacking not only your organization, but the others that you do business with. So check your security controls to make sure that they are up to date. So now, what do you want to do? You want to set standards for your employees. Have up-to-date backup systems, have a working recovery plan, keep your firewall turned on, keep your antivirus updated, install or update any anti-spyware. In closing, a couple of things that I've asked you to you can pick up. I do have information on small business scams back there at the middle table, so please, on your way out the door, take as many of these that you want. Also, the first one is on November 22nd. It's the BBB Education Series. And these are very informative classes. They only last a couple of hours. The one in November is Social Media for Business. One getting down here is in April 25th, and this is a free event, is Getting on the Radar, a conversation with local Louisville media. And this tells you how to advertise and market your product and service throughout the media. One of the other places, I like is coming up on October 26th, is Workplace Violence and Crime Prevention, a guide for small business. So I encourage you to pick these up too. If any of these classes interest you, I encourage you to come out and visit.